Hey Lan, hi folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use he and pronouns. I filmed a video before this at tennis courts. Now I'm filming a second video while walking, and I haven't vlogged. This is basically a vlog, and I haven't vlogged in a while, and I just wanted to vlog. So yeah, I felt stuck today, so I just wanted to go outside because I didn't go outside yesterday. So I just wanted to go for a walk, and I took my tripod and mics just in case. I didn't plan to film the video at the tennis courts, but then I had an idea. Then I saw tennis courts. I'm like, why the hell not? And then I also came outside today to work on my short film. I'm currently working on a short film, and I wanted to catch some footage for it. So that's also a reason why I went outside. This tripod is the new one that I unboxed, and vlogging with it is a little bit impractical because it's really heavy, and I'm currently holding one of the tripod legs because holding three is not practical. Probably swap arms later. It's like an arm workout just holding this tripod, to be honest with you. Just on filmmaking, the topic of filmmaking. So yes, let's talk about filmmaking a little bit. The process isn't so linear for me because when I try to go linear, I started with writing down ideas, right? For this short film. I don't want to say what it is yet. This film, and then I started storyboarding. And so the way I make short films is I write down ideas, and then I sort of turn these ideas and experiences into scenes, and then I started storyboarding. And then after I storyboarded a little bit, and then I sort of got stuck. I got writer's block, and I also have to write my script. And I started writing my script, but then I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. And so the other day, I did it twice. I mean, not twice in the same day, but I did this thing twice where I just went and filmed random footage, unplanned scenes essentially. The footage, the scenes are not the ones I scripted and storyboarded as ideas. I went out, I put my camera down, experimented with different angles, did a bunch of random things. And I'm like, oh, that's actually cool footage, and I can actually use that for something. And it's unplanned. Oh, my arm hurts from this tripod. My arm still hurts from this tripod, but we shall soldier on. And what was I saying? Yes, I went and filmed a bunch of random footage, and then I thought it would be really cool to use, and that helps me overcome creative writer's block is when I'm sitting there being like, what do I do? What scene? What blah, blah, blah. And I just go out and film a bunch of unplanned things. Spontaneity really helps. So I found a spot to sit down at and stopped holding my tripod to vlog because it's really heavy and it's impractical because it's so heavy. I mean, unless I want to keep strengthening my arms and treat it as a full-on workout, it's just really heavy on the arm because of the aluminum alloy. And I found this pop-up area. I've actually walked past this many times. I never sat here though. And I look around a lot because it's a busy road and I get distracted. Yes, content creation and films. And spontaneity, that's what I was talking about. Yes, spontaneity can help get us out of creative ruts sometimes, and I've definitely found that with my own creative content experiences is when I get stuck in a rut and then I force myself to do something unplanned, go and film random things or just take my tripod and camera and just walk around the neighborhood, and some idea might come up, be like, oh yeah, that environment, I could try doing this, and I film the footage and then I don't necessarily use it at the end, but it helps me get out of the creative rut because I'm so tunnel visioned on trying to do things in sequential order and plan everything out that the attempt to always plan everything out actually backfires at times because I tunnel vision, and when I tunnel vision, I get stuck on a very specific set of doing things, and I get I'm like, my ideas are limited when I try to plan everything in advance and just sit in my room and try to think everything out from my brain. But when I do something spontaneous, or if I go outside and just take my camera somewhere, I get new, different input, I get different sensory input. I'm in different environments, I'm doing something different. It gets me out of that creative rut. And this doesn't just link with creative content or filmmaking and the like, it also relates to life, because I found that with life things I get stuck on, I tend to tunnel vision on that one specific problem. I just had a thought how I was talking about filmmaking, and now I'm talking about how it links to life. That's just how my brain works. When I've been stuck on a life problem or something about myself that I wanna, like for example, the burnout cycle, I tunnel vision on that one specific problem. For example, yes, one example was sensory overload and burnout, sensory overload and burnout. And I sort of hyper focus on that issue specifically about burnout and being overstimulated and being overwhelmed all the time, and I sort of freaked out, and I didn't see things from a specific angle. Like in my head at the time when I'm in that tunnel vision state, for lack of better words, it's just the problem. It's just that one thing that's making my life hell, and there's nothing else around it that's fueling it or contributing to it, for lack of better words. I did not have a different perspective on the problem because, again, I was tunnel vision, so I hyper focused on that just one thing and didn't consider all the other life things around me and what I was doing that contributed to this, that sort of enabled this problem to keep happening, that sort of fused the problem, because it's just that one problem doesn't just exist on its own. It has roots, it has contributing factors. And I was talking to my worker, I have a worker who helps me, and he sort of pulled me out of that tunnel vision by saying, you're sort of stuck in this state because I stay in my house and I don't go outside that much. I didn't at the time. I was stuck in the rooms, the same room. I was staring at the same four walls of my house, and then I was stuck in that state, and then there was no change in environment, there was no change in nothing, so that thing that just kept doing this. Essentially, I didn't have a different perspective on the issue. I was tunnel vision, I didn't have a different angle on the issue, and then I kept being stuck in it, and I couldn't get out of the loop until someone literally just pulled me out, being like, hey, there's a simple solution, try doing this. And then once I started going outside and sort of getting out of my own head, because when I tunnel vision, I'm stuck in my own head. I'm stuck in this loop in my own head. And when I get out of my own head, then I'm like, oh, yes, this is the problem, but it's not as awful as I think it is when I'm in the tunnel vision state, because it's actually, there's things I can do, there's actions I can take. It's not, I'm stuck in this tunnel vision state and I'm doomed for the rest of my life. Another way to look at it is I did something different. I didn't continue to do the same thing as I did. I did something different, which then led me to see the thing from a different angle. Therefore, I have more knowledge and I can think of new ways to help work on this challenge I'm experiencing. And linking back to creative content and making content or art or film or writing, and I get stuck, I do something different. I take a break. With my second LGBT short film, To Closet or Not to Closet, part 2, I actually didn't touch it for it was very infrequent work. I said I didn't work on it every day or every week consistently. But sometimes I gunned it out really, and then I had so many ideas, and then there was other times where I was stuck and there was a point where I didn't touch my project for months. That whole thing took 1 year to do because I was so on and off with it. Yeah, I took a break from it and I didn't touch it for months. And then when I came back from my little break or pause from the project itself, not saying I paused doing other things, I paused on that specific project, and I came back to it, it I had a lot more clarity. I could think a lot clearer. Ideas just started flowing really nicely. And then I started building a flow to work on things. And it was a sustainable flow at that point. It was a sustainable flow. It wasn't a burnout flow. It was a sustainable flow where, yes, I worked on my film project and I really had fun with it, but I also had a better idea of my limit and when I need to stop and rest. In short, whether it's content creation, filmmaking, or just a problem we have in life, it can be helpful to take a break from it and just like park it to the side, or if not park it, not hyper focus on that one thing. And then when I start doing other things, things just start falling into place. Or second, take a step back and see it from a different angle. Shift the camera to a different angle, and we can see it from different angles. It's again with the link to like filming stuff. We can have one object, right? I can have like this block over here. So hypothetically, if I take this block seat thing over here, I can film it from different angles. I can film it from a low angle, I can film it from a bird's eye view angle, I can film it from an eye level, I can film it from my thigh level, I can film it from different angles. The same thing it'll be the same thing, but I can see it from different angles. The angle I'm seeing at now is different from the angle from if I'm staying over there, if I'm staying above it, if I'm lying on the floor and looking at it. And it's the same with concerns and issues and challenges we have. We can see things, if we see things from a different angle, it gives us different perspective and different approaches on how to tackle the issue, concern, challenge, or at the bare minimum, help us get out of our own head and get us out of the tunnel vision thing. And the other thing I wanted to say is, the last thing is, with life, sometimes things just fall into place. We don't plan it from A to Z. We just live our lives, we do things, and eventually it falls into place. And that's sort of the approach I take into content creation and also making short films, is things will fall into place. Even at the time it might not seem like so, and then it seems so disorganized and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? And I have no structure. It will fall into place in the end. It falls into place with time. And once the puzzle pieces start falling into place, I'll be like, the things that were happening were meant to happen, and now everything is falling into place. Thank you for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.